In about an hour, some homeowners will be allowed back into the evacuation zone after historic flooding hit southwestern Colorado.
That's right. 9 News reporter Brianna Fernandez is joining us live in studio with more details. Brianna, officials say only residents who have an urgent need to visit their homes are going to be allowed back.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And officials are working hard to have a re-entry plan for those that had to evacuate, but water levels are still so high. So today, residents who urgently need to grab either medications or have to check on their home will be escorted by the sheriff's office starting at 8 a.m. this morning. So in about an hour. So here's what you can expect, especially if you have friends or family that had to evacuate. Now, because of limited personnel and time, residents will be allowed a 30-minute visit. Officials say only one person per household will be escorted back to their home. And this can only be a homeowner or a resident of that home. Now, here's a look at that evacuation area. Now, today, those who are going to be able to go back into that evacuation zone are folks who are on the south side of this evacuation map. Now, very different story for those who are on the east side. That's an area near the Vallecito Creek. So since Saturday, all 390 homes in La Plata County are still under evacuation orders. Depending on what is found in the damage assessment today, emergency responders are planning to lift the evacuation orders tomorrow. So that's tomorrow at 8 a.m. Officials say that this will be based on different factors, mainly if it's safe for the public as well as first responders. So of course, we're going to keep you updated today as well as tomorrow and see how it all unfolds. For now, I'm live in the studio. Brianna Fernandez for 9 News.
Brianna, thank you. Now, earlier in the week, Governor Jared Polis issued a disaster emergency to help free up resources to respond to the flooding. Now, Governor Polis is giving people and businesses more time to file their taxes.
Yeah, the Colorado Department of Revenue has some state tax deadlines pushed back now to December 31st, which includes income taxes due today and sales taxes due on Sunday. If you are affected, you can also ask for penalty waivers on other taxes and fees, but you will need to call the department directly to get that extension. All right, let's get a check of that forecast for today with Katie LaSalle. Katie, some parts of southwest Colorado still under a flood watch.
Absolutely. Good morning to you guys. The National Weather Service has decreased the coverage of the flood watch down over southwestern Colorado. Places like Pagosa Springs and the San Juan River not under the flood warning or watch that we saw yesterday, but still over portions of Archuleta and Hinsdale counties. We do have the potential still of some flooding concerns. A little more rain is on the way, but scattered in nature. Thunderstorms and showers that we're expecting, not that widespread heavy precipitation that has impacted the region over the past several days. Now, this morning in Denver, it's beautiful. Mostly clear skies and dry conditions. This, though, is a live look near Holyoke. Erica was just mentioning fog up to our north. Probably had something to do with those crashes this morning. We have seen dense fog in spots. A live look for you over Fort Morgan, really reducing visibility on the roadways in areas. And you can see drop down to less than a half of a mile of visibility near Fort Collins. So just take it slow out there. You will encounter some areas of dense fog up to our north. Pretty fine driving conditions right now through Longmont, but Erie seeing some of that patchy fog and as well out through Fort Morgan. The National Weather Service issuing this dense fog advisory in place for the next couple of hours. So between now and 9 o'clock, a lot of that dense fog is expected to break up. The sun rising in the sky, warming temperatures. And today it is going to be relatively toasty for mid-October. Warm, but also breezy. It's that warm before the storm. Our next cold front set to roll in. Still pretty isolated storm activity is possible for today, but unstable conditions here across the state as more tropical moisture streams in. It'll create scattered showers, isolated thunderstorms. Best chance for rain in Denver will be later on tonight ahead of some cooler temperatures. But in the meantime, 70s and 80s today, the warmest day on the 7-day forecast. I'll break down our hour-by-hour focus, the timing and totals of the rain, and even some mountain snow that we're expecting around this time tomorrow, coming up in less than 10 minutes.
All right, Katie, thank you. Heads up, if you drive through Inglewood today, crews are going to begin building the next section of the Oxford Avenue pedestrian bridge. Traffic will shift to the right in both directions between Santa Fe and Windermere and Navajo. Also, the left turn lane from southbound Santa Fe to eastbound Oxford will be down to just one. This is expected to last for about 4 weeks, so you can still drive through, but again, the city's asking folks to use US 285 to avoid any delays. Crews say the project will make it a lot safer and easier for pedestrians to get around once it's all said and done.
Douglas County has greenlit a major land deal for a new 500-acre sports complex called Zebulon in Sterling Ranch. The land transfer impacts 46.5 acres of land for the project's first phase and will include hockey rinks, fields, a sports dome, and retail space. The plans for Zebulon include an $85 million price tag for the first phase. Supporters say it will bring jobs, revenue, and much-needed recreation space out there, but critics worry about traffic, water use, and the land's industrial past. passed. Construction could begin in 2026.
Lakewood has officially approved its new zoning code, wrapping up months of debate and public pushback. City Council voted 8-3 Monday night to adopt the 400-page overhaul, along with a new zoning map. The plan removes the term single-family zoning, allowing more duplexes and townhomes in residential areas. Supporters say that it opens the door to affordable housing. Opponents argue it changes neighborhood character. The new code takes effect next year.
A legal fight over housing policy in Littleton is now off the table, at least for now. On Monday, city officials dropped a lawsuit challenging ballot measure 3A. It's a citizen-led proposal to preserve single-family zoning. The measure was sparked by pushback to a city ordinance earlier this year that would have allowed multiplexes and ADUs or granny flats in single-family neighborhoods. City leaders argued the measure could clash with state housing policy and risk funding, but said a court review likely wouldn't be finished before the November election. Now voters will decide the future of zoning in Littleton, with supporters calling it a fight to protect neighborhoods and critics warning it could limit housing options.
Ballots are starting to arrive for the November election. It is now officially 3 weeks until Election Day. You can vote by mail, and last day to do that is going to be Monday, October 27th. You can also drop off your ballot in a drop box in your county. You can also vote in person, and you have until 7 o'clock on November 4th to get your ballot turned in.
Denver voters will be voting on whether to ban the sale of flavored tobacco. Advocates say Referendum 310 is about health. Opponents say it's government overreach and a bad financial decision. City Council banned the sale of flavored tobacco products in Denver, and the mayor soon signed it. Less than a year later, voters could repeal it. A yes vote on 310 means flavored tobacco products will continue to be banned. A no vote means more than 550 businesses across the city will be allowed to resume selling the products again.
The effect it'll have is we'll probably be looking for new locations.
We're not unsympathetic to the impacts or possible impacts that this may have on some businesses.
The campaign to keep the ban in place is being bankrolled by billionaire and former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg. Well, taking a live look right now at the nation's capital as we enter day 15 of the government shutdown. Republicans and Democrats remain deeply divided, from federal loans to small businesses are on hold, and some home sales can't close. The Senate is expected to vote again today on a stopgap bill after 8 previous attempts have failed. But now federal employees facing a missed paycheck are feeling the pinch and calling on Congress to act. President Trump says U.S. service members are getting checks due to a reallocation of funds. The White House says the money is from the Pentagon's research and development budget. In Congress, a standalone measure to pay troops is getting growing bipartisan support, but so far it has been unsuccessful. Today, 2 unions are trying to stop the layoffs of federal workers who've lost their jobs during the shutdown. They're asking a judge in San Francisco for an emergency injunction. The Trump administration says in a court filing about 4,100 employees are affected. Other federal workers deemed essential continue to work without pay.
While lawmakers continue to point blame, concerns about the ongoing stalemate are growing, including right here in Colorado. Organizations like the Harvests of Hope Pantry are working to prepare for the potential impact. The Boulder Food Pantry is bracing for a high demand for food assistance since there is no certainty for federal programs like SNAP and WIC. They also warn that the shutdown means the Emergency Food Assistance Program cannot order more food. The pantry's leaders are now asking the community for help, whether it be food donations or financial support.